Guys, you're back for another episode of Unboxed. Join with me, Ayeisha, and I've got another cracking athlete coming on who is just an absolute gem from Down Under. Whether he's being a role model in and out of the field, chasing an LA dream, and always working on his self-love and growth. But with that being said, today we have Davis Atkin on the pod, and I'm so excited for you all to listen. So get ready for some absolute laughs, some inspiration and some guidance on just life in general. He's such a gem. So make sure to stick around, pun intended, for another episode full of hopefully stories that everyone can relate to at some point in their lives. So enjoy the episode. If you like what you hear, make sure to follow, subscribe, whatever you want. Send it to your nan down the road, sure look. And yeah, enjoy. Guys, we are back with another episode of Unboxed, and today we are joined with, honestly, one of my day one requests that I wanted on Unboxed, and that is the gorgeous legend, Davis from Australia. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Very glad that we could get this sorted. I think between the pair of us, the time difference and our schedules has just been a bit mayhem. But yeah, I'm actually glad that we can just sit down and just chat a little bit. But We'll just go a quick recap on you, Davis, that is the legend. 23 from Australia. Well, no, not from Australia, live in Australia. We've had this before. From England, transferred down there, parents had a job. But you're pretty much an Aussie now, like.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that I would consider myself an Australian, which is funny because my brother doesn't, and he was born in Australia. But that's, fun times. But I would consider myself an Australian. But I grew up in England, and I used to live in Canberra, and now I live in Perth. So, yeah.
Big travels. It's very, I'm sure it's very exciting living in all these different places and whatnot. But since we're on the rewind days of who we are, who is Davis? Go on, tell me. Like, for people that don't know you, how would you describe yourself to them?
At the moment, I think that I would describe myself as very hockey obsessed. I think that's pretty much my whole life. But for me, it's hockey. I love beauty. I love everything makeup, skincare. I'm really bubbly. Sure, I can, come off a little bit introverted from the start, but once you get to know me, I'm a lot to deal with. But no, I love beauty. I love movies. I'm on a drag race. I'm going through all the rounds at the moment, so that's pretty much my life. Is going through each and every drag race. So no. That's pretty much me, hockey, beauty, drag race.
Sorry, I thought you were going to say you're actually going on drag race, to participate. And that would have been oh my God, what a dream. How fun would that be?
I know. I'm just waiting for the call up. I think because the most recent Australian one, RuPaul didn't come. He got Michelle to do it because for whatever reason, I think he was on book tour, but fingers crossed.
Book tour, Australia, RuPaul, you can't compare it. Why is he doing a book tour? It's irrelevant at this point.
Oh,
dear. Okay, so you kind of just pretty much you describe yourself, hockey obsessed, beauty athlete, which honestly, if anyone hasn't checked out your socials, please go because it is the best, well, for me anyway, the best education-wise in terms of skincare. You'll actually be proud. I think since the last time we spoke, I have got somewhat of a skincare routine.
Okay. Well, give me a brief.
So
brief of what it is.
Okay, so I wash my face.
Yeah.
Good start, I even have the way you get, thank you. The way you get the bits that you put on your wrists to stop the water going down to your elbow, and then round the wee thing around your hair. Mine has bunny ears, which is very handy to pull it up. Thank you. So I even wear that, which is a bit extreme, but we're going with it. So obviously wash my face with a bit, no, I don't even, CeraVe. And then hyaluronic acid twice a week.
Gorge.
I have a retinol
Love.
Some eye stuff, and a bit of moisturizer.
Love. Okay, well, it's a good
So
start. Sounds good.
Compared to what it was literally like wash my face and off I go. And then SPF on days where I go outside.
That's fair enough. Look, as long as you can wear it when you can. I think in Australia it's a very different situation to where you're living with the UV. But sunscreen's the main thing for me.
Yeah, I would say so. Well, given the fact that in Holland we went 11 days with no sun, like just a blanket of clouds, it was a bit bleak. So, and I didn't really go outside, to be honest, apart from walking the dog, but that's fine anyway.
Vitamin D is not a thing.
Oh, irrelevant. I'm on the supplements because mine's way too low. Yeah, the ginger Irish goalkeeper is on the vitamin D supplements. What a surprise.
No. Fancy that.
Anyway, so we get slightly sidetracked again, which happens. But so you've described yourself as hockey obsessed, beauty athlete, and obviously in the RuPaul Drag Race era obsession, which at what point we all are. However, if you were to say who you were as a kid, would you describe yourself as the same?
Not really, no. Well, no, kind of. As a kid, I've always been pretty sporty and pretty creative. So I think that's kind of, leading into it. But I would never imagine that I would be so into hockey or, creating beauty content on Instagram. That was never in what I was expecting. I think that when I was born, influencers weren't really a thing. But I was always really sporty. So I think that sort of lined up a little bit.
Okay, so it was always going to be somewhere in the sports world you were going to end up. Did you ever think it was going to be hockey, or what else did you do?
I pretty much did everything as a kid. So I did, soccer or football, however you want to call it. I don't really care. Soccer, football. Hockey was more of a late thing. Tennis, swimming, running. I always thought that I was going to be a cross-country runner, to be honest, because I was really good at that. But it was mainly between soccer and hockey where it got to the point where I needed to choose one. Otherwise, my mum would just not drive me anywhere. So
I feel that's always the case where it's like your parents like, right, pick one because I'm fed up driving you every single day of the week to 3 or 4 different things a day. I'm over it. So it's one or nothing.
So when I got my license, it was, probably one of the best days of my life.
Of their life.
Yes.
They were like, get out of the house, do it on your own. We're done being your taxi for now. Oh, dear. Okay, so you've kind of mentioned there about how, yes, you were very sporty when you were younger, but you didn't see yourself creating or being an influencer in the beauty world. How do you feel doing that? Like, what does that excite you? Does it bring you joy? Like, how did you get into it? How does it make you feel?
I think at the moment I'm in a sort of weird phase of not doing as much as I used to, just because of, how busy I've been. Hockey's taken up pretty much most of my life, so I just haven't had as much time to create. But I think going into it, I watched a ton of beauty YouTube. That was pretty much how I started. As through high school, I was friends with a lot of girls that were into makeup. We always used to watch YouTube together with James Charles, Manny MUA, Nikki Tuchura, the whole shebang. And one day I just started to do it by myself, bought some things, and then decided, you know what, let's just start posting some looks online. And that's where it sort of started, where I just started doing creative, colourful eyeshadow looks. And now I'm in this sort of skincare makeup phase that I think is really fun. Sure, I haven't done it too much, but whenever I get to play with makeup and film it, it's always really enjoyable. So,
what was the reaction of people when you started doing it, from those online, but also those around you? Like, for them, was it a surprise seeing this? Was it not? How did that reaction come?
For the people close to me, I never really got a reaction in person. I think, they all started to follow you, or me, that is, and they liked my stuff, but they never actually told me in person that it was really cool. I think that it never really mattered. It was just like a part of who I was. I think the online traction was sort of the bigger part. So in 2016, YouTube and Instagram and makeup was really big. So people blew up really massive. And so that's where I got most of my traction, which is where I met most of my Instagram friends that are in the beauty community. But no one really talks to me about it, to be honest. Like my friends, no one really asks me about the makeup, about skincare. Sometimes little comments, but I do wish that people, talk to me about it a bit more because that's part of me, right? So, yeah.
Do you think they're maybe, nervous, uncomfortable, don't know what to say, don't know how to bring it up? Do you think they're maybe in that space, or do you think, because they don't have an interest, it's just like a blank wall? No, don't open the door.
Yeah, I definitely think it's the first thing you said. I think that that sort of correlates with my sexuality as well, coming into the group. But that in general, it's very new to people. It's not like they're against it, but they just don't know how to talk about it. And it's just a new thing for them. So I can understand that part.
So how would you want? So like you say, you want to talk about it. You want them to ask you about it because it's it is part of you. Like you're such I think an icon in the hooker world and beyond for how. I think, for me, how creative and open you are about it, plus all your tips is fantastic. But how would you go about, say, helping someone or helping your friends who maybe want to have that conversation?
I think it's honestly just starting off with the basics. Like if you get to know someone, you generally ask about what they're interested in. I feel like it's a sort of conversation that's similar to that in that you ask them why they're interested in it, what brings them to enjoy it so much. And then you can sort of ask questions from there, right? Why you like skincare? I like because, it helps my acne. Or why do you want to help your acne? And that sort of thing. And I feel like people can relate to especially skincare a lot because they want to, finesse their face a little bit more. They want to deal with wrinkles and that sort of stuff. Makeup's a little bit of a different thing because boys and makeup is a bit of a obscure thing to some people, especially for someone in like a masculine sport. But I think it's just, having a bit of a kiki, having a bit of a conversation. It's not too different to what you do with other people.
No, literally not. I think it's, I don't know. I feel there's a lot of topics in going around the world right now where people, they want to talk about it, but it's like they're almost that I don't know how to start it. So then let's just avoid it because I don't want to feel uncomfortable.
How is that going to be constructive ever?
Literally, we'll be walking in circles and never get anything done. Yeah. Well, that's kind of what's happening in a lot of the world right now. So what's new?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, we'll not get onto that screen already because we could be here for a while.
Yes.
Okay, you kind of mentioned it a little bit about your sexuality, but you were the first openly gay kookaburra to play. Mm-hmm. How does that feel? Like, what does that mean to you? Yeah, tell me about that.
It's interesting that we're doing, I'm speaking to you again because it's every single time that I talk about it, I get a different sort of feeling. I think initially, and still to this day, I feel a lot of pride from, wearing that badge. I get to be the first person. I get to be that person that people can refer to, that can look up to, young boys, girls that look up to, that might be questioning their sexuality. I think now that I've sort of moved into a phase where I'm feeling more comfortable in myself, both on and off the pitch as well. I think I've always felt good off the pitch, but on the pitch has been an area where I've tried to work on. And it's just still in work in progress. But I really love being myself more. I think I play better as well. And I think it's just a really good thing for people to have a reference to that, someone like them is in the highest level team in Australia, right? So, or in the world.
Do you feel a bit of pressure with that? Or is that something that you can kind of take on, not naturally, but it feels comfortable to try and step up to that? Challenge isn't the right word, but kind of that role model-esque.
A little bit. I think initially I was a bit more than, I made a bigger deal than it probably was for myself, not for, how big of a deal it was, but I think now I feel comfortable with where I'm at. I feel comfortable talking about it with people that, are interested, people that aren't interested, and bringing up the topic that sometimes is a little bit harder to talk about with, certain groups. But no, I feel good in the role model area. whatever you want to call it.
Good. Yeah, I would definitely say so. You're definitely a role model. Have you had much people like reach out to you and connect and ask you questions like outside and inside the hockey world? Because I think in the hockey world, it's such, not taboo's not the right word, but it's such a closed door still because of, I think the sport and how elite it is, and it's very masculine, as you said. Yeah. Do you find, have you had much people there?
I have, and it's not, an immense load of people, but I've had people message me saying that I've been an inspiration, and then, they were in similar spots in their own country, but never really felt comfortable going to the next level because of their sexuality. And it was good to see someone that did do it. I've had people tell me that they've had people, coming out to me. I've had people telling, they felt like they're more comfortable telling their parents. So it is really heartwarming to be that person that people can sort of look up to and almost feel inspired to do those things. I think knowing me, I would have loved to have someone like myself in that position, so I could feel more comfortable doing those things.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think with anything, it's always really uncomfortable being the first, but I'm sure you maybe get so much fulfillment. Ugh, I don't know, my words are really off today, but
I think that's good.
So much, pride, fulfillment in a way when people actually do reach out and say, you've helped me get to this spot, you've helped me become more comfortable because of how open you've been.
No, 100%. It's really heartwarming, and I think fulfillment's a good word for it.
There we go. My words improve. I'll take that. Okay, so we've discussed we spoke about how you were the first openly gay cook, but that didn't come about maybe as you planned. Do you want to maybe discuss that or tell us a bit about that and how that happened?
Yeah, for sure. I think that it was definitely a journey. It was not what I was expecting, but I was fortunate enough to debut in India in 2023, so 2 years now ago, and it went relatively smoothly. I wasn't really sure. India was always a place that I was slightly concerned about my safety, but we got that sorted out pretty quickly. But I got to talk to a news outlet about what was happening. They picked it up, and it was a local news radio station, and the story ended up being picked up by the national news. And so what happened was that it just gained a ton of traction on, social media, mainly on Twitter, where it just turned into a cesspit of people that just were hateful, that just weren't really understanding of why it was a big deal about having the first kookaburra that was gay. And so I was, feeling pretty isolated, as you can imagine, not having a lot of support in that area, because I don't have too many gay, or I didn't have too many gay friends back then. So it was really hard to sort of talk about at the time, except with my family. But it was just a bit of a tough couple of days on social media. But, you live and you learn. People will be people.
Yep.
So no, it got better, but I think that initial media outpost or whatever they did was just a bit harsh on me. So well, the response
have you seen like any, maybe not just with yourself, but just in general, like improvements or people, especially online? Like online is just actually brittle. Like it's disgusting, some of the stuff that people think they can say, and it's like they put their full name there, like say just complete horse shit, and then think it's fine. Like, have you seen maybe an improvement, or people trying to defend people or that sort of stuff, or is it still as bad as ever?
I think it's pretty similar to what it was 2 years ago for me. Twitter's a very dark place sometimes, as you would probably know. It's unfiltered. People can say whatever they want. And so it's just not a really conducive space to really feel good about yourself. So, other platforms, they have filters and it's a bit better. But I think at the moment it's not online. I don't think it's any better. So there's some work to be done.
How do you deal with that? Like, how do you manage it? Because it's not like you can just block the app.
Yeah. I think I feel like I pride myself on being smart enough to, sure, I have an initial emotional response but to process it, not just with myself, but with other people if I need help, to manage the emotions. I think that, sure, initially it was a bit of a heart wrencher because, people were saying I was an F word. People were saying that it was just a crazy situation that even needed to be a topic. But I think I'm smart enough now to, not understand where they're coming from because it's stupid, but to, move it aside and just not really worry about it. Sure, you can not look at it. I think that's pretty hard to do, but to look at it and just shove it to the side.
If you were chatting to someone, they ask you, it's like, can you like help me? Can you give me some tips on like trying to move faster or put it to the side? Like to someone who's they're just came out or they're just, trying to build up the courage to come out. But if they see all this, like, what would you say to them? How would you encourage them to keep trying to stay true to themselves with the mayhem that is social media?
Look, I'm not going to lie. It's a tricky situation. It's a tricky thing to find your way through. I still struggle with it. For me, I have to keep reminding myself of who I am, my self-worth, feel like I'm valued. I quite often love to, especially with myself, inner saboteur, but also other people online, like those social media comments, to sort of have a little wave, say, hello, you're there, but I'm going to just do my own thing. This is working for me. I'm going to do it by myself and with the people that care about me. So for me, that's what works for me. But, you can do your own thing, but having that ability to identify it, but not put an emphasis or have, make it mean something to you, that would be the key for me.
I think like the words that stand out to me there is like the fact you value yourself and you know what you stand for. Like, I think those in itself, if you're able to come to that in yourself, it's kind of like, what you said, like give them a little wave. You're like, right, okay, good chats. Like, you're honestly irrelevant because I know who I am and I know what I want to do. I think that's maybe with a lot of things, it doesn't even have to be about coming out or whatever. There's so many, topics, whatever, that people online just hurl abuse at. So I think,
100%.
That's something that definitely people can take away. If you really know and really keep working on who you are and that you are values, whatever's said online, you're just like, right, okay, irrelevant. You have your own problems that you need to work on. That's why you're trying to take it out of me.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so we've done, or we spoke about your sexuality and stuff, and you being the first cook, openly gay cook. Tell me about hockey. Like, what does it mean to you?
It's a very deep question. Hockey is, I think at the moment it's my life. It's everything. That could be good and bad. You put a lot of emphasis on it, and it, if it's going not as well as you want it to, it doesn't go so well. If it goes really well, then you're on a high. Hockey for me has just been, everything is the word. I've moved for it. A lot of my friends are from it. And I just really enjoy the team aspect and the mateship that I get from it. The physical aspect is always really good, but I really value playing really good hockey with other people. I think that's always something that I've loved as a young age. When I got to travel with junior Australian teams, that was the feeling of playing with really good people. That was most enjoyable, and what I wanted to come back for. That was what I was craving.
Do you think that? So you had some struggles in the past with it, and coaches in Holland, etc. We all have had our struggles with Dutch coaches. But do you think the time out allowed you to realize how much it meant to you?
It did. And that situation was, very individualistic and, nothing that it was a lot. It was very different, and I'm not. It's part of my story, so that's all I'll say really on it. But I think taking that time off for me, exactly what you said, it allowed me to reset. It allowed me to redefine, what I wanted to be, who I wanted to be, what I wanted to do, and I think that was where I really found that hockey was that thing that I wanted to continue doing with my life. It was a shorter break than I probably would have liked, but I think that exactly what you said, it was that time available to me to, redefine why I enjoyed hockey so much, which is for those reasons. It's, physical, playing with really good people. I get to travel the world. So, yeah.
What's your favorite place that you travel to?
I think the European tour for me was amazing. I think debuting in India was a thing of itself, but India is a bit of an interesting location. It's got its, lots of cons and a few pros, in my opinion. But I think that in that European tour, I really enjoyed it because that's where you go for hockey. That's the pinnacle of club. That's the pinnacle of the sport. Aside from Australia, got to mention Australia, of course. But
it's all right down there.
Yes, we do okay. But that's where people want to go. So I really enjoyed that experience, getting to travel around, having people from all these different countries watch you that really were passionate about the sport.
How do you find the travel? So yeah, especially coming from Australia, you could go away for 2-3 weeks at a time, and then how do you manage that? Because obviously it's very different whenever you're at home, you're training, you have your routine, you have your own space, whatever. But when you just pack a bag into, you have 20 kilograms, maybe 23, depending on your airline, and off you pop to Europe for 3 weeks. How do you manage that? Because that's tough.
Yeah, I think this is a topic that has to come with living in Australia and playing for any elite team or any sport, is that you have to travel more. I think that especially since hockey is so centralized in Europe, it's a lot easier to get international matches, which I really envy, because that it's a really good way of getting better. But I think traveling, we have to take that extra few steps of recovery, preparation, going into a tour, into a tournament. And so things like hydration, rest, all these factors that come into high performance sport are really key for us. But it's always something that we have to think about. Not too many teams come to Australia, but when they do, I'm sure they'll experience it as well, as they probably will in Pro League for Sydney. But yeah, just those little things that come into, importance a bit more.
How do you manage having your own mental space in those tours? So yes, essentially it is a business trip. You're packing up, it's your job to an extent. But like any job, you need your downtime, you need your time away from it. So how do you manage that time for yourself? Do you like being around people all the time? Do you not? What do you do to help yourself in those moments where you just need some Davis time? Peace out, go away people.
It is a hard one on tour, especially since you're normally going to be rooming with someone. I'm not sure how they do it in Ireland, but we have roomies. And so I've had, pretty good roomies on every tour that I've gone. But for me, I really value
You have to say that in case they listen.
Yes. Whoever's listening. So far.
Touch wood.
Yes. But no, I really value my own time. I'm like the complete polar opposite of Henry, but I really love my own time where I get to recharge. Sure, I love, social aspects. So I think on tour it's a little bit hard because you're in that space where you're always around people. So for me, it would still be in a room with someone, but, putting on the headphones, noise cancelling headphones, and just zoning out for a couple of hours. It might be a walk, depending on where you are. Just getting out into space where you're not around people, especially people that you're around all the time. So, but it's always going to be a little bit hard on tour.
Yeah, I always find that, you get a bit of FOMO as well. Like if you know you need your alone time, but then maybe you hear like a bunch of crack going on in the hallway or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, people are like, we play not random dumb games, but like we play really random games on tour. Like I think last year, one of the girls, this is actually really funny. Shout out to Deirdre Duke, teammate of mine. She was on a hen weekend and she had like confetti willies in her pockets in one of her coats.
That's normal.
As you do. Well, from a hen weekend, it makes sense. But then if you're bringing that coat on a hockey trip, questionable. But anyway, it turned out to be a thing that's for Europeans like last year. And it turned out to be, honestly, the funniest 2 weeks almost, because we then played this game called the Willy Wolf.
The Willy Wolf?
The Willy Wolf, yeah. And so... no one knew who it was. And so someone was like placing like one like confetti, and it was like pink sparkly willy confetti somewhere, and it would just appear. And honestly, we were like full investigations to try and figure out, and it took us 2 weeks to figure out that it was Dib. Of all people. Like she wouldn't be like great person, but she wouldn't be like front and center of like providing entertainment. And so it was so like things like that where it's like I really wanted to be involved in that, but then because you're like, okay, what's going on? Who is the Willy Wolf? Like, why is there confetti willies everywhere? like to the point where I remember one morning I woke up and I was walking down the hallway, and then hanging from like the door at the end of the hallway and a piece of sellotape was a confetti willy. So it's just like hanging down from the door. You're like, what on earth is going on here? So I'd say probably every other guest in the hotel was like mad, confused.
Yeah.
So we do things like that. So I don't know if you Australian lads are like that, but that's what we do with Ireland.
No, I think we do a bit of card games. I think that we love a good card game. Yeah. We're very much coffee. It's not really a game, but like we obsess over coffee. That would be the main two things would be card games and coffee.
Fair. What's your go-to coffee?
Well, it's funny because I actually don't drink coffee. So I love making it, but I don't drink it.
Interesting. Because of taste, because of...
taste. Like, it's okay. I have slight trauma because my mum, hello mum if you're watching, she has quite a bit of an addiction to coffee. So whenever she doesn't have a coffee in the morning, she would get like mad/migraines at the same time. So that was slight trauma from that. And I said I would never do that. I would never be in a position where I would do that.
Yeah, fair. I did get to that point, and then I was like, nah, I need to simmer down here. Alan was making them every morning, and I was like, right, you need to give me half an hour to wake up. I'm allowed to have 2 a day. 3 if it's terrible. But it's okay. So that's clearly the differences between us and how we manage tours.
Coffee, no coffee.
Okay, but so outside of hockey, like what do you do? What do you get up to?
I pretty much am a binge watcher of everything. I love, obviously, RuPaul's Drag Race. But if I'm hooked onto things, that's, for me, I love spending time watching stuff. I love getting out and doing runs. I think since moving to Perth, I love being at the beach. Coffee making for me is quite fun as well, as, you know, I don't drink it, but I love my job. I love my workmates. And yeah, the beauty and skincare for me, so like, sure, even if I don't record it, I love playing with it. I love learning about ingredients. For me, at the moment, I've been quite into politics. Not like actively doing it, but I'm very fascinated around what's happening in the world. I listen to lots of different political podcasts, reading lots of books more recently as well, because I'm going to start studying this year again. So I need to get my brain functioning.
What are we going back to study?
I'm going to start doing a master's in public health. So I've done my bachelor's, but I'm going to be doing a master's in public health. So I need to start reading, because that's pretty much going to be the majority of this master's is reading reports.
I'm sure you could get some sort of like device that scans it and then could like audio it to you. That would be lovely. That'd be wild handy.
Probably. with today's age of AI, probably. Because when I was in undergrad, like ChatGPT, none of that was a thing. So I think it's going to be very different going into this one, where I can shorten some tasks that I would have taken longer otherwise. We'll see. We'll see.
I can confirm. My master's has probably been, I probably shouldn't say this, but very much solely written by ChatGPT with some few words. And well, I have to ask the questions by myself, so I have to figure it out. But amazing world. Definitely get into it. Log it on. But what do you want to do with public health, or what does that offer? Or to be honest, I have no idea. I hear people that they go to study it, and I'm just like, what is it?
It's like a mixture between science and policy. So generally, especially during COVID, you'd see people on TV that were called epidemiologists, which are, doctors, maybe not doctors, but they're professors that deal with diseases and dealing with public health responses. So for me, I'm just really interested in public health responses, dealing with issues of health, whether that be smoking, obesity, various diseases, that sort of thing. And I think that partly where it's come from is that I've been interested in both skin, very clearly I love beauty, but also my own health. I think that I've been someone that has been unfortunately quite sick quite often. So it's almost like a personal thing at the same time to figure out not what's wrong with me, but interested to see what's going on inside.
No, I think that's fair. And I think you see a lot of the world is moving towards that way anyway. Like, especially our generation, I'm not going to put us in the same generation because I am a little bit older, but I'm going to say our generation. We'll say like the under 35s. But I feel like we're more invested in that, in having health, in being active, in eating well, in trying to understand the world. Because, okay, yes, science has told us for years and years that it's not going to last forever. At some point, it's going to burn out and then go kaboom.
Yeah.
But how can we prolong ourselves to the best of our ability?
100%.
I think it's, so like I live opposite like an old people's building. Well, it's kind of like for people with dementia and stuff. And it's like, that scares the crap out of me because I'm like I have the fear of being 60 and having no memory. I'd be like, sorry. Like, I don't want to put that in anyone. So I think even you're hearing a lot of information and stuff and studies coming back from scientists and everyone about how ways to kind of prevent that and just have a better life. And I think, that's where my ramble speech is going with this, is that our generation is seeing that. We're seeing how people were workhorses, work to the ground, and now everyone in their 50s, 60s are having heart attacks. They're all having health problems. They're all having problems with their strokes and whatever. So I think, it's a really big topic at the minute where we're kind of like, no, we don't want to end up like that. We don't want to work the 9 to 12 graveyard shifts. Like, we don't want to burn ourselves to the ground to try and survive. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all just want to live our lives and we want to enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think that there's so many parts that go into it. And this is why it's so fascinating for me, because there's so many things to think about that I'm interested in. But I totally agree with you. I think that, younger people are generally more conscious of it. Generally, not everyone. Some people are a bit,
blind.
But that's okay. Social media's had a really big impact on it. Body image is a really big thing. I think that generally people, sure, they want to be more active and healthier. That's generally not meaning that they have to be skinny, but it's generally just feeling better in yourself by, being active, eating well, just conscious of those things. So I think that exactly what you said is 100% true.
Yeah. And it's also, it kind of comes back to what you were saying earlier a bit about, like, once you know yourself and have value of yourself, it's easier to do that without maybe feeling as judged. If you are maybe in an area where you are maybe obese, you have bad habits in your health, it's easier to then adapt and change because there is the support on social media. People are being more open with it. And I think that's where, I think we'd all love to get to that point where we can just feel like we have the support of those around us to really make those changes in whatever aspect of life to do stuff.
Yeah.
Jeez, that'd be lovely.
100%. It would be lovely. Everyone just get
I know,
along.
yeah, just let's all be friends. Well, I just want everyone to get along. Name that movie. For anyone listening, name that movie.
Inside Out?
No, older.
Oh.
It's my go-to quote
like
movie. Mean Girls.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just want everyone to get along, make cake and rainbows. She doesn't even go here.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry, I have too much time on my hands apparently that I can just quote. And that gives you an absolute insight into what goes on in between my ears.
I should know. I love watching movies, and that was pretty disappointing I was pretty disappointed in myself for not knowing that. So next time I'll get it.
Yeah, we'll work on it. I am a bit surprised at that. Do love a Mean Girls quote.
Yeah,
you can quote them for days.
I haven't watched it in a hot minute.
It's been a sec. Anyway, so I love how we just get a little skew whiff and then pull back in. But
absolutely.
So I'm going to say in your early 20s. You're in your early 20s. You're 23. Go on.
Yeah.
But you have experienced what I would also say quite a lot. Like you went through a lot between hockey, life, work, just everything. What's something that you wish you could tell your younger self in how to deal with what experiences you've went through?
I think there's so many things that I could choose from. I guess it would either be, my health or how I I think for me, I'm praising myself and feeling comfortable with myself, but it's taken time. So I think that for me, it would be telling myself or having the ability to feel more comfortable in myself earlier. I think that came as part of being in a really masculine sport or just in sport in general, but having self-confidence and feeling like I can be more comfortable around people in general earlier, because that would honestly make me feel happier from a younger age. I think that I had to worry a little bit less. Sure, there was a little bit of media backlash, but I was supported by amazing people, had a really good family. So less to worry about, and I'm very fortunate. I'm sure lots of people aren't as fortunate in that, and I really am thankful. But yeah, just telling myself that I love myself earlier, pretty much.
I love that. Love, here for it. But I think, so many people, whether you're in school going through exams or you're worried about a friendship or worried about getting a task done or anything, I think so many people in that moment, it's maybe the worst thing that they've experienced, the most stressful thing they've experienced or had to try and work through. But if you can just remember, it is what it is. I love myself. For me, I'm going to do my best in whatever aspect it is. You can't ask for anything more. And I think that's where, once you get comfortable in yourself and doing that, honestly, the world opens up. Rainbows, sunshine everywhere. Everywhere.
100%. Yeah.
Okay, my love, we are almost done. We just have to finish off with the Unboxed 11. Yep. Quick fire, long fire, short fire. Honestly, it's whatever fire you're going with at this point.
Yeah.
We get kind of a bit of everything in the mix, but it's totally on you. It's however you want to answer, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so first question. Brittany, sorry. I think I am these days. Okay. I could have said hit me with your best shot, but it was like one or the other. 50-50. Okay. First question in the Unboxed 11. Favorite time of day?
Morning.
Interesting. Number 2, what is the best compliment you've ever received?
That your skin is really smooth.
I say that to you.
Very fitting.
Yep. Number 3, what is the biggest learning experience that you've ever had?
Probably that I need to take care of myself first and always.
Number 4, what makes you smile the most?
making other people laugh makes me smile most. 100%.
Oh, I like that. That's actually quite warm.
That's me. Warm.
Yeah, warm and fuzzy like a big teddy bear. 5, 3 things you can't live without.
Okay, well, I've got to say sunscreen. Sunscreen's got to be the first one. My phone, slightly depressing, but my phone and let's go with RuPaul's Drag Race.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Number 6. What's inspiring you in your life right now?
Oh, goodness. I feel like I'm going to fucking say RuPaul's Drag Race again. Every time...
Say whatever you want, hun.
Yeah. At the moment, I've just been on a rampage of RuPaul's Drag Race, but I go through every different season, and each season I cry on a certain episode when it gets really emotional about themselves. So, yeah, that's pretty much... That would be it.
Okay. If you weren't a hockey star / beauty influencer, what would you be?
A professional gamer.
Oh, what game? What's your go-to at the minute?
It's called League of Legends. And I forgot to mention this earlier because that's very much part of my life, but I used to be very addicted. I probably still am very addicted, but there was a stage where I could have gone pro, and I clearly chose the wrong thing for money. So that's all I'm going to say, but League of Legends, absolutely.
How on earth did you... Okay, I shouldn't ask that because I'm not... What is it on... We judge? No. We share and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge.
Yes.
How did you pass that up? Sorry, hockey is life. I get it.
And look, literally, it was. I had this whole plan set out to go and play in Europe or play in America, and I was at a... This is when I was really
play
young.
Hockey. That is.
Yeah, well.
Or gaming.
Gaming.
Okay, gaming.
Yeah. And this is very young. I was like 16, 17, so I was still in school. And I decided not to go through with it because hockey was... I mean, it's not really a conventional style of living. There would be an even, not worse, but even more unconventional than being an athlete. Not that that's unconventional, but it's not very popular because it's hard to get into.
It's a bit tough. What do you play on? What's your console?
I play on PC. And I pretty much only play League of Legends. So it's like a multiplayer strategy game.
Okay. I play FIFA on the PlayStation 5.
I'm glad you do that.
No, I completed the Harry Potter game.
Was it the Lego one or the real one?
No, the real one. I have also completed the Lego one on my Switch.
Of course you have.
Yeah, I love Harry Potter.
Yeah, I really need to get into more games. I do.
Harry Potter. Actually, I'm playing... what do I have at the minute? It's clearly really good because I remember the name, but it's like Batman died, and then is it legal? No, it's not. Dark Knight? No. Skip that. It was really good, but recommend it.
Okay.
Recommend
it. Be sure to keep it out on the lookout for it.
Yeah, I'll send you a link or something.
Okay.
Okay. Back to our questions. What is the biggest misconception about you?
I think that when you don't know me, I come off quite bitchy and quite like not really welcoming, but that's very untrue.
It's okay. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, it does. I have resting bitch face. So.
Yeah, we're trying to prevent wrinkles.
Yes, true.
Honestly, like I have so many. For those that are just listening, I'm hitting the edge where I'm considering having to do, what is it, a facelift or something?
Botox facelift, yeah.
Yeah, the works. I might have to invest in the works, whatever that is.
I should stop talking. I should just stop moving my face at all.
There's no emotion.
No.
We're going to talk like this. And that'll do us. No, that's a bit boring.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Who do you look up to and why?
First person I probably think would be Tom Daley, the icon, the legend, the diver. He was probably the first person that I saw at an elite level that was gay and open about it. So I think he was really inspiring. And I got to watch his YouTube, which was really cute.
That is cute. Okay, last two. One experience that I've always struggled with this word. Gosh. One experience that significantly shaped who you are today.
It would definitely be me getting outed, as bad as it was. I think that it was very much defining of who I was. I think it created a really big resilience in myself. And, you know, a lot of the issues that I go through today probably wouldn't have been as smooth if I didn't go through that. So.
Wow. Yeah. Very open and inspiring. So, yeah. Not much else I have to say to that, honestly. And last one. How do you stay unboxed? How do you stay true to Davis?
I live, laugh, loving every day. You know, there's going to be some down times and you're going to have to pick yourself up, but getting up and putting a smile on your face, I think that for me is unboxed.
I love that. Just put a smile on your face. Fake it till you make it.
I'm a poet. I'm honestly a poet.
I know. Get yourself a wee book or something. We're going to work on a book deal for you. Well, a poet,
yes,
a poem book.
Please. A poem book. Yes.
Okay, my love. It has been amazing to have you on and chat to you. I think you're such a gem, an icon, a legend, a role model. Honestly, everything. You just encapsulate what I feel is to be an individual who has experienced so much in such a short time span, but you're working on staying confident and true to yourself. So I just want to thank you for your time. I hope everyone else listening or watching has been able to, just get that feel from you as well, because you're just, gem.
Oh, well, no, thank you for having me. This has been a long thing in the coming, but I think that this is really great, and I love you. I love you, your dog, everything. So I think what you're doing is amazing, getting to share all these different experiences. So I'm grateful that I get to be a part of it.
Of course. We will leave it at that. But folks, if you didn't love what Davis had to say, reach out to me and we'll have a talk. But I love that extra feature. I'm going to use that. But if you love what Davis had to say, make sure to follow, comment, share your thoughts, feelings, everything you take away from this episode. Your support and everything that you do with this community, with Unboxed, is helping us get unbelievable guests like Davis on. So that being said, pop off and hit a follow and a subscribe, and that would be lovely. But until next time, stay unboxed.